So we're in Mark chapter 9. We can characterise the readings this week, I think, as the distinction between false fears and true fears. So John, the Apostle John, the young man John, called at a very young age by Christ, says, look, we've come across this fellow who's casting out demons in your name, but he's not one of us. And Jesus says, well, look, anyone who's doing something good, like casting out a demon in my name, is unlikely to be against us. So we've got to accept them. They may not be part of our community, but they're doing a lot of good. And this casting out of demons is such an important feature in the Gospel of Mark. And of course, it's such an important feature in the baptismal rite. As I've said to you before, I think that as I get older, the more I realise that the casting out, the exorcism prayer of a person, whether they happen to be a baby or whether they happen to be an adult, the prayer of exorcism is the most important prayer, exorcising evil out of the person, enabling original sin to be overcome, and giving them great protection against evil. So no wonder Jesus is saying, look, that's a false fear. Anybody that's really trying to do the right thing in protecting people against evil is doing a wonderful, wonderful thing. Let them go, let them participate. And then he moves to the true fears. What are the things that we should really fear? And Jesus says, well, what we should be fearing is anybody who's an obstacle to one of these little ones who have faith. And he says, so if your eye causes you to sin, tear it out. If your foot causes you to sin, tear it off, cut it off. If your hand causes you to sin, we'll cut that off as well. In other words, there's a premium on eternal life. We've got to get ourselves into eternal resurrected life, and the current life that we have is a pathway to it, but we've got to reject evil and we've got to pursue good along the way. This is most important, particularly in the 21st century in Western countries, where to a large extent, and I don't want to generalise here, but to a large extent people are no longer pursuing life this way. That is, trying to identify very clearly what are the good things to pursue and trying to reject things that are evil. There's a great reluctance for people to talk about evil, and yet it's so important that we do it. The 10 Commandments given by God to Moses, 10 words of life, they protect fundamental human values, and so it'll be a very good idea for us to make sure that our children, particularly our teenagers, are aware of what the sort of things they should reject. And then we've been given the Beatitudes by Christ, which are like the inner meaning of the commandments, the laws that give us life, and the Beatitudes give us the attitude which we should have within us as we go along the journey of life. So yes, the false fear is worrying about people doing good. Let them go, that's great. And we should also have a true fear of getting ourselves involved in evil and not understanding, in fact, what are the things we should avoid and what are the things we should be pursuing. Most important. Let's have a go at that.